Ruth Bader Ginsburg was an Associate Justice of the United States Supreme Court for 27 years. She was the leader of the liberal wing of the court. Ginsburg came to the court as the leading figure in pioneering equality under the law on the basis of sex. She was only the second civil rights attorney appointed to the court, the first being Thurgood Marshall. Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the leader of the ACLU Women's Rights Project, and it was in that position that she was able to argue several cases before the United States Supreme Court that finally began to make sex a suspect category under the law, which means that you could litigate discrimination. And she did that in a variety of cases. In many ways, the legal standing that American women have now, we owe first and foremost to the career of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Her appointment to the court changed the court in some fundamental ways. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was inspired by the older legal theorist and philosopher Pauli Murray, who also inspired Thurgood Marshall with her analysis of Jim Crow legislation that discriminated on the basis of race, and Jane Crow legislation that discriminated on the basis of sex. So Ginsburg came to the court with a belief that Murray also had, that you didn't need to legislate an equal rights amendment to give women equal rights under the law, that the Fifth Amendment guarantee of due process and equal treatment under the law, and that the 14th Amendment, passed after the Civil War and kind of the holy grail of civil rights law in the United States, which guaranteed that all citizens born in the United States had the right to equal treatment under the law, no matter where they were born, no matter who they were. And so she argued from those already existing constitutional amendments, and that made her very powerful. That also gave her the moral authority to be, and the judicial knowledge to become the leader of a very vigorous progressive wing on the court, even though she was in the minority for most of her career. One more thing, she believed that her dissents were not just gripes when she lost a case, that her dissents paved the way for future decisions. I think her legacy will be in transforming American law so that sex is a category we have to look at for discrimination. Her legacy will be in making very clear that Jim Crow and Jane Crow discrimination were totally tied together. Her legacy will be all of those dissents that are on the books and which may very well change law into the future. And her legacy will be her famous saying that a woman belongs anywhere where decisions are being made. And finally, when asked how we would know that there were enough women justices on the court, she answered simply, when there are 9. So here's to that time.